And let me admit that we have very nice guys that can do their job heading these institutions, especially this time, because I personally know the chairman of EFCC. I also know the chairman of ICPC, and I know that of DSS too. These are guys, and the institution can be useful to start addressing this matter. Not the type they are doing now by just media trial and all that. No, this is supposed to be covert operation, and that's why I say once, like in Britain, they have what they call UWO, unexplained wealth order. They will just go and obtain an order from the court, and then what you have that is above your normal income will be confiscated until you prove ownership or the source. That's been done there.
Yes, I think that's a good point.
Yeah, in the US, what they do is they confiscate first. And then if you think that it belongs to you, then you go and prove it. But in Nigeria, it's not the case, because our law has a lacuna, and that is the biggest problem. In other criminal offenses, you are presumed guilty until proved, until there is a proof beyond reasonable doubt. You understand? But reverse is supposed to be the case.
Well, you mentioned the people who run the anti-graft agencies. I mean, you talked about the EFCC chairman and so on. It's interesting that they themselves, who are supposed to be fighting graft, are often hounded out of office. I mean, with allegations of corruption trailing them. I mean, virtually every one of them. I mean, their tenures ended with some form of controversy involving allegations of impropriety, and even in some cases they were arrested and detained. I mean, so if the allegations are to be believed, at least some, if not all of them, become allegedly the criminals they're supposed to be going after.
Yeah, because that is normal characteristics or this thing of corruption. When you are dealing, it's everywhere, even in the, it's like you are dealing with criminals, mostly like politically exposed persons. Then you are talking about drug dealers. In some cases, you are dealing about criminal businessmen. They will go out of their way, or they will go too far to implicate or bribe you or come around. So it's not easy. But as I said, the cream of head of anti-corruption agencies we have now, given the right instrument, they will be able to do
right. But is there pressure on people like yourself in positions of influence to be corrupt? Because Nigerian society, I mean, you've said this before, encourages very high expectations of you if you're in a prominent position. So for instance, if you don't give contracts or positions to your people, they'll say you're a fool and that you're selfish. So the more you share your piece of the national cake with your people and your friends and your cronies, the less it is considered corruption by them, and they'll come to your defense.
You're right. In most cases, as I said, corrupt people are tried. So I think few in Nigeria were tried outside, and some of them are even jailed. But when they come back home, they are being celebrated.
That is true.
The opposite is the case.
Good evidence of that.
Yeah, the opposite is the case if it is outside, because of the shame associated with that. Some even commit suicide.
Yeah, and you're virtually
and then some of the countries are completely intolerant. Just day before yesterday, a minister in China, Zhang, or what is his name, was sentenced to death.
A whole bunch of people were also sentenced to death.
And the senator,
today, actually.
Senator Mendes
or yesterday,
was alleged to have collected bribe from Egyptian government. He's now serving, I think, 5 years imprisonment, including his wife. Because he was given...
But you don't push for these things. I mean,
how can I push something?
You're the lawmakers.
No,
why don't you push for this to become law?
To be fair to us in the National Assembly, we established ICPC. We established the law. We established EFCC. And then we gave the DSS powers. And I'm a legislator now asking the president or the government to sponsor an executive bill on unexplained wealth. So it's not like, because this corruption at the end of it doesn't help anyone. Because if you steal 1 million today, and then you share it, and then maybe you keep just part of it, next time more people will be coming, urging you to steal more.
But that's pretty much what is happening, isn't it?
Yeah, and it will go. No, thieves are being celebrated. There are some of our colleagues that, because of the position they are occupying or the influence they have, they dip their hands or they connive with...
when you say you mean your colleagues at the National Assembly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because some of them cannot explain their wealth anyway. And that is what...
But nobody asks them anyway, so they don't have to explain it, do they?
No, I don't think so. As I said, number one, these are people that constantly cycle around the powers to be.
So they feel protected.
They feel protected. And then some of them even pay protection fee. You know what I mean with that? It is
like the mafia.
Yes, when they steal, the money, or then they also
to keep the rabble rousers quiet.
Quiet.
Well, you're a rabble rouser. Do they try to keep you quiet?
No, I don't think so. It's only when you have something to hide that you fear.
So they avoid you because they know they might come to you and you run. You go on the television.
No, it's not like that. So many people used to go on television, but they can't find anything against them. For me, as I said, I wish if this thing would be adopted, and I should be the first one to be.
Yeah.
Called.
Well, I'm glad you're bringing this to public attention, because that is the way that you have been. You've always been a kind of forerunner. I was wondering when you were going to come up with a new word for this kind of behavior, because, I mean, you've drawn our attention to words like kleptocrats, kakistocrats, etc. And I expect you to come up with corruptocrats.
No.
or contractocrats.
No, but you forgot one thing. There are a lot of plutocrats in the system, too.
Yes. That is true.
But you don't blame the plutocrats because they are going in there to make, to profit from the government. And let me also say that I just don't create those words. Kakistocrats.
No, I know. It is in the dictionary.
It's in the dictionary.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that you draw attention to
as I said, on a serious note, Nigeria has to do something about corruption. And I repeat that if we don't kill corruption, then corruption will kill all of us.
But what about the prevalent notion that if you are a politician, it doesn't matter what shade of politics you pursue, never criticize the ruling APC, which is your party. Instead, join the party and you'll be fine because all your EFCC problems will disappear. Is that a fact?
No, I don't think so. But I can say that whether deliberately or by default, some people will be in the system and no eyebrow is raised about allegations or accusations that has to do. But suddenly, when they have a brush with the government, then they try to come after him. At one time, I think, as I was following my own case, I discovered that they have to find something to talk about it. And at one time, it has gone off now, but it was on social media, online, this thing, that I am one of the richest senators. In fact, the 10th one with over $500 million. And
and you said, no, I'm only worth $100 million.
No, I said, if I have $1 million, I will be with you in London.
With whom?
With you. You will get me an apartment or I'll buy a house. I'm telling you. Yeah. So for me, if we are really going to find corruption, it should start by me being investigated to explain.
And you're happy to be investigated?
I would be. Because I'm politically exposed person.
Yeah.
They should check my bank accounts or what I have in the bank and call me in to explain how I got that balance. That is, if there is any balance anyway.
Well, let's see what happens.
And before I forget, we agreed that you are going to transfer all your monies in the bank.
No, we didn't agree. But I'm just told that we've got, I mean, the time has been flying. We've done, almost 45 minutes. But let's talk about politics briefly, because you've been fist bumping, mingling with members of the ADC opposition coalition. Some of their messages seem to politically connect with you, such as that your party is running this country, badly. But they haven't managed to convince you to leave the APC. Is it still your position that you want to change things from within the APC? Yeah,
I still maintain that. There's this saying in Hausa. I will explain in English. The Sabon Gini Gara Yabe. What that means, instead of building a new house, you better fix So I'll try to do that. But as I said before, if the cracks and this thing, the rafter and everything is going, especially, and then if it is becomes better or necessary for you to build another one instead of staying in this one that will collapse on you, that is it. I still believe that things can be corrected. I still believe, and I still wonder what is happening. But when you have a good captain and the crew are not good, that is another thing.
So you think Tinubu is a good captain, but the crew around him are
Tinubu,
not?
I believe that Tinubu has interest of this, because but I don't understand what's good. I must confess,
Right.
Charles, because you see, this is the same man. You can't. There are certain things that are happening. For example, I raised it here in terms of appointment, but he responded, and now people raise issues of imbalance in infrastructural development, and then you see that is what is on the ground, and then you see people announcing about programs, which is beautiful, but people don't see it, people don't feel it, and you begin to wonder, what is happening? Unfortunately, as I said, unless he takes drastic measures, the kakistocrats that have dominated the system, and unfortunately, again, most of them are still kleptocrats. And you find it very difficult to convince people, especially when you hear something, you don't feel it, you don't see it, it becomes a problem.
Okay, just before we have to go, let me turn to the issue of the replacement of the chairman of the Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmood Yakubu. His term ends in December. There's a clarion call out for the position to be advertised, for those nominated for the position to be made public, and for Nigerians to get fully involved in the selection process rather than just leaving it to the president to make that decision. Where do you stand on that?
Well, it doesn't matter. The president, as at now, by the law, is having the prerogative of appointing INEC chairman. And the INEC chairman is supposed to come before the National Assembly. I don't know why this is being made as a big deal.
Yeah, but the problem is that people feel that every time people like that, who are so important and significant, come before the Senate for screening, that you tell them to take a bow and go away. I mean,
then we are accountable to the public. If we dare do that, that is what I'm saying, we should be held accountable.
You're saying if you dare do that. You did that. You were supposed to have a person by person vote for the state of emergency. You didn't do that.
We didn't do that.
To hold you to account. But you're the one supposed to hold people to account.
But you know that I oppose that, isn't it?
Yes,
I was there. I was a single voice. I account for my own. But as I can say, that definitely if the Nigerian public that elect us, and an individual is appointed by the president, and before the nomination comes up, and people are saying, no, we don't want this man. The senators cannot say, okay, we want him. I can tell you that. The voice of the people, in some case, the voice of the people, we locally say, is the voice of God, not even voice of senators.
Vox populi, the voice of the people.
So if people don't want somebody that is being nominated, or he has questionable characters, or for whatever reason, Nigerians have the right to reject it. And I'm telling you,
how are you going to measure that rejection?
Wait a minute. I'm not standing for the president, but this is a president that is more flexible than the previous one. May he so rest in peace, Buhari. Severally, the president appointed or nominated some people, but before they come for National Assembly screening, he would review them. Rufai is one of them. There's one woman, and then so many others that their names were brought before the Senate, but because of the public outcry, or for some other reasons, like the Rufai case, the president withdrew that appointment. So I want to wait until he announces, and if he's a Nigerian, then so be it with me. And then if he has questionable characters and the evidence are there that he had bad record, then he will not be fit to occupy that position, and my voice will be heard. But on the overall, I believe that we should concentrate on governance instead of all this. Whoever is the INEC person, if he's to perform his duty according to the acts establishing INEC and the Constitution of Nigeria, that's okay. But you see, if we are personalizing government and now privatizing it, then it becomes a problem.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Senator, I want to thank you very much indeed. It's always brilliant seeing you, and I'm glad you're the one who ushered me back into the chair, as it were. Nice, spirited discussion. Senator Ali Ndume is a senator under the umbrella of the ruling APC party, and he was, of course, the former chief whip of the Senate. Thank you very much indeed. Good to see you.
Thank you, Charles, and sorry for what happened. May our soul rest in peace.
Amen.